get old.
Yeah, I know. Do you see how these are crinkled?
Yeah.
A ramp leaf is just smooth.
Mm.
Instead of having like a rippled Lay's potato chip.
I saw those all down through there when we were coming in, and I wondered if that was ramps. Because I've only seen them after they were picked. I've never done one.
Right. And you'd know it too. I mean, once you dug it.
Yeah, then you'd be able to tell what it looked like.
Right. And actually, there could be. Yeah, that looks like a ramp right there.
Like one, don't it?
Smells like one too. I think that's what it is.
You just take 100 yards up here. Hopefully I ain't gonna see you wrong. Better put on the couch either way.
Man, I don't see why we need to walk in.
They're all over the place right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We 39 and holding.
I must be 39. That's been a while.
Shoot, I am.
Been a long time since I was 39.
I've just got real good at turning.
Yeah.
Today, Matt and I have come up in the mountains with one of our friends to dig ramps. If you've never heard of ramps, they grow wild in the mountains of Appalachia at high elevations. Think of a cross between wild garlic or a wild onions, but ramps really have their own unique taste, and that taste is really celebrated in Appalachia. You'll hear about ramp festivals and ramp dinners, and just people digging ramps and enjoying them in the spring of the year. People in Appalachia that dig ramps every year, they kind of go to the same patch, and they kind of like to keep that patch secret from other people. Not that they're not willing to share, but just that they always go to the same patch. You know, they have their favorite place, just like people have a favorite fishing hole or something like that. They also try to be sustainable in the manner that they harvest ramps, because they want to make sure there's ramps there for the next year when they come, but also they want to ensure that there's ramps there for their children and their grandchildren. So just like a lot of other wildcrafting in Appalachia, most people that harvest ramps or harvest other things, they make sure to only take enough for themselves to use, and never to deplete the amount that's growing, so that nature will naturally replenish what they took before the next year arrives. Ramps are consumed in various ways in Appalachia. A lot of people like to eat them raw. There's like an old joke that says if you're going to eat them raw, you better make sure everyone else in your family eats them raw too, because they have kind of a way of emanating from your skin and from your pores and other places. People like to eat them fried in potatoes, mixed up with eggs, scrambled eggs, pickled ramps. There's just various ways. Hamburgers with ramps, inside the meat before you fry the patty. So there's various ways for people to eat ramps.
Oh, that's a gom of them right there.
When you're digging ramps, you need to dig deeply around the plant before you pull them up. That helps prevent the bottom from coming loose from the top. And instead of just pulling the leaves off, that ensures that you get the entire plant. And the entire plant is edible. Most of the flavor is in the bulb part, but the leaves are also edible. So you can notice the difference in the stems, the white ones and the red ones. I don't think there's any difference, but our friend that we're with was telling a funny story about one of our other friends, an older man in our community. He wouldn't eat the red ones. He preferred the white ones.
I like all of them.
Matt likes all of them. I think I do too.
Like I was talking about earlier, digging them before they come up, is eating them raw.
Yeah.
Most time I won't eat them raw, I like them cooked. But them right there is awful good raw.
Oh,
They ain't strong yet.
It's getting a little too sketchy.
Get them on up in May and they big as your thumb, they pretty stout.
It's out and you got more than that to deal with.
They're still good to cook with, but they're a little stout to eat raw for me anyway.
Snakes might be out. April time.
I guess this is, I ain't had one since we've been married.
I don't think so. Only ones we've had is the ones that
Somebody give them.
Papa give us. It's a bloodroot right there.
You know what the bad thing about that is?
Right.
We'll be dead before they make. At our age.
If you dig them next year, that'll be the end of it.
Yeah. Maybe the girls could like them.
Oh, I plan to live longer than 15 years. Ain't that what Travis said? I hope, if God blesses me.
15 years we'll be about past going. Or I will be. I can feel it now. I'm about that way now.
You're gonna have some of mine, hopefully.
See that leaf right there at your hand, right in front of you? Below it. Yeah. That's a bloodroot.
It is?
Mm-hmm. The bloom's already gone, but that's the leaf.
What do you do with it?
You can use it for medicinal purposes or dye stuff with it. The roots, actually, if you cut into it, it's got red sap in it. Not real red, but pinkish red, like blood. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think even, a lot of people, that's why they did it in the spring of the year, of course, because that's when they grow, but they looked at it like a tonic, like a spring tonic to get their system going.
I've also read somewhere that there's one chest legend that says if you eat this year's ramp, you'll live to see next year's harvest.
It's like the saying, I always think about it gardening, if you hit hose with somebody in the garden, you'll garden together next year.
I like it.
Yeah.
That makes me purposely want to go hit hose with the tap off filter.
Well, that's why, usually just being silly, I'm like, Corey, Katie, hit hose. So we'll be there next year together.
I'm 29 or 30 years old then, and Jared still outworked me.
I haven't took a picture of one yet.
That's Jonah tipping. There's one more dandy bird since you can tap.
Where at?
All we've got to do is add the ramps and the oil.
So you've got corn and mushrooms, potatoes, jalapenos, and sausage.
Smoked sausage and orange bell peppers.
Orange bell peppers. And we're going to add ramps.
We're going to add ramps. That's
Freshly dug ramps.
Yep.
Okay, Travis is going to show us how to clean one of the ramps that we just dug. Of course, normally it'd be nice to do it at your kitchen sink, but we're going to eat it right now, so we're going to clean it out here where we're at.
Yep, so you just start with there's a little tag at the top, and just start working its way down, and so all you got to do is rub down on the bulb, and you just want to get it down to the clean white right there. Get it worked down to the actual roots. Cut it off right there, wash it, you're done. Good to go. Always get me up a bunch. If I'm at home, I'll sit there outside with the garden hose and a strainer, and I'll get that strainer filled up of just peeling and cutting. And then when it's all full, I'll go in and wash them up, let them dry in the strainer, and then you can vacuum seal them, put them in a Ziploc, whatever you're going to do, store them from there.
They're a pretty plant, aren't they?
They're pretty good to eat too.
Yeah, they're pretty good to eat, but they're a pretty plant.
This moment, where we're at, and appreciate it. How many people are getting to do that right now?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
To be right here in the middle of God's country, be blessed with a beautiful day, good company, and good food.
That's true. We get in such a big hurry, we don't take time. I do, especially. I'm like to cross stuff off my list, so a lot of times I'm just hurrying instead of taking time to enjoy the sunshine and like you said, the good company and all that.
Not a good way to look at it, but we're not promised this again, you know.
No.
We're here right now.
Yeah.
And who knows how many times we've got left of doing something like this.
That's true.
I used to eat dirt when I was a kid.
Yeah,
A little bit won't hurt you. I know some people doing a whole lot different to me. They take a whole wad of them and just dunk them in a bowl. Makes it a whole lot quicker. But I just always clean them individually. It's worth the wait. You get that membrane off once it get a little water to it. And like you say, you don't. It's pretty self-explanatory once you start doing it, ain't it? Pretty easy to figure out. I even called it the T-bomb for a little while because it looked like a big old ball, like a cannonball or something. And then we finally settled on that.
High country broil. We're in the high country today, so that's good. Usually do it on a grill.
Yeah, that's. I'm sure it'd be just fine in the oven, but the grill is usually. For me, I love the grill. I'll eat breakfast on the grill if you let me.
Right.
We're going to do it on a Swedish log today, though. There's no set number. The only thing, in my opinion, that you could mess up on by adding these ramps is not putting enough. Just want to get a little olive oil in there to help cook it.
And just fold it up.
Yeah, seal it the best you can. And let it just sit on the grill and simmer. Keeps all those flavors in there locked in together. And I'm sure that would be done just fine on a skillet. But I like to seal it. One.
Out there about 3 weeks ago.
So we just got through eating our high country broil that Travis made us with the ramps in it. It was really good. There's just something really special about being able to go out into the woods and harvest something and then eat it while you're still out in the woods, while it's still so fresh. There's something really special about that. Another story I was going to tell you about ramps, in days gone by you'll hear a lot of old timers tell the tale that in springtime, spring of the year, when people began to eat ramps, it was a common occurrence for kids to come to school and maybe they smelled like ramps, and if they did, sometimes the teacher would tell them they needed to go home and come back in about 3 days, you know, when the ramp smell had wore off. So the old tale goes that, of course, a lot of kids might have took advantage of that, especially like high school age kids, when they knew if they ate some ramps, ate a bait of ramps, then they'd be able to get out of school for a few days. And I'm sure some kids probably did that inadvertently, and then maybe there was some that thought, hey, I'll eat some ramps and I'll get a 3-day vacation from school. So there's a lot of times you'll hear older folks talk about those days. But we hope that you enjoyed seeing how we dig ramps in Appalachia, and enjoyed our day with Travis. We had a really good time, and we hope that you enjoyed it, but mostly we just hope that you'll drop back by often as we celebrate Appalachia.